Mr. Fluger looked at his watch, so I better call the meeting to order for Wednesday, February 26, 2025. I am going to declare a quorum. All members are present, plus President Mansell. And I will make a motion to approve the meeting agenda for today's meeting, February 26th, and approval for the January 22, 2025 meeting minutes.
Second.
Second by trustee Hess. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Chairman's comments. We're getting close to election time, coming up in early April. And our last village board meeting will be April 9th. And that'll be 8 days after the election. The reason I mention that is between the 9th and the 16th, according to ordinance, the third Wednesday will be the reorganizational meeting of the new board. So what that means for us is our last meeting as the public safety exists now will be March 26th at 4 o'clock. 1 month from today, and then we will not meet until after the reorganizational meeting. And if I'm reelected and if I'm reappointed, we will probably continue on Thursdays, the fourth Thursday of every month. So that's kind of like how we go about it.
Fourth Wednesday.
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 Would I say Thursday?
Thursday.
Wednesday.
Can't be second guessing myself there. Like, wait a minute. Today's Thursday?
I missed a day.
Yeah, well, it's been a ride, but after 8 years, I'm getting a little long in the tooth and a little tired sometimes, but I was talked into running this time. We can't say who, but
Keep your own.
she's a relative. Just kidding. All right, that's all I got. Public comment, Mr. Administrator, I see we have an unverified person listening in. Would you take care of that matter, please?
Yes, can we have your name, who's online, please?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
Thank you.
Uh,
I was wondering, but I wasn't positive.
Ma'am, if you can hear me, I will deal with our fire chief for not recognizing you as he should. That was terrible. Jessica, you have a
creeper.
good evening. Okay. Boy,
I wasn't sure.
that whole thing in my mouth. All right, no public comments. We'll move on to the guy that's in trouble right now to see how things are doing at the fire
Wife
department.
is dead.
Take her away.
Alright, so, y'all have my monthly report in front of you. Assistant Chief Lukey held the fire meeting for this month. The DNR came in and did their yearly training, which we have to do every year if we wanna be, able to get the DNR grant. We held almost like a training, but realignment of all of our apparatus, one of the Saturdays. So the problem was that we have 3 fire engines right now. Engine 3, which is our oldest one, is costing me a lot in maintenance. So what I wanted to do was kind of put that more to a reserve engine, I guess you'd say, versus a first out one. So we took that one as it used to be our rescue engine, or car accident, boat rescue, that kind of stuff. We made that into engine 2. And then engine 1 is strictly for any fire that would go on it. So an engine 3 is gonna be more of a reserve, so hopefully it doesn't cost me so much in maintenance. 'Cause I
That's
think
the one when you go out to the town of Cranmore, that's the one that stays in town, right?
that was engine 2.
Yeah, but I mean, the current engine. Which one will stay in town now?
Engine 3 will be more like a tender, so we'll run it to use the water that it has on it and dump it. Engine 2 will be our car accident, water rescue, that kind of stuff, backup engine. And then engine one will go to any fire we go to. But I think last year I spent,
I know in the old days, they always had to leave one engine back in town, didn't they?
Yeah, that's engine one. Yeah, engine three has been, though, you're accustomed to it, used to go in the car accidents that he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Which one used to go to car accident?
the engine three, the one that I'm putting in kind of like a reserve status right now. But yeah, I think last year I spent $7,000 or $8,000 in maintenance alone on that engine, so. It's almost 30 years old, so it needs to kind of sit back a little bit.
So that's
Cool.
Thank you.
I attended the village board meeting. Submitted that quick trip grant. Myself, Captain Mansell and Captain Adley are teaching an EMR class at the station. Actually, we only have 2 classes left. They take their final exam on Thursday this week. And then the following Tuesday, the 4th, will be the last day of EMR class. And out of that class, I have 2 members on the department currently that took the class. And then I have 2 more that submitted applications because they took the class. So it was 4 total just from a 3-month class that I ran at the station. Well, not even 3 months. Submitted a grant to Gary Sinise, Firehouse Subs, FAP, got the DNR grant. Still working on my outlay, again, so I have multiple.
You heard anything about any of the grants?
I have not, the only one I know is FAP, and that's just because I know the formula that they're using from the state board. And that's guaranteed money to come, it's just they have to do it from the state EMS office.
Thank you.
So multiple application, the PFC, I think we have 4 in there right now. That are gonna be going through for interviews or at different various spots in the process. Again, we got a grant from Harbor Freight for the battery operated Sawzall and it's been placed onto engine 2. We took delivery of another AED, so now we have enough EMS equipment to run 2 EMS calls at a time. So if we get, especially with us taking over the township report, the likelihood of us getting 2 EMS calls at the same time or within the same vicinity of each other is a lot higher now. I installed couple smoke detectors in one house in the village. And obviously attended the last public safety meeting.
Is that program for smoke detector, that's gonna be ongoing,
Yes.
as long as you
Yeah.
have?
As long as I
you
have the
stock?
smoke detectors, we'll
Yeah.
keep it running and I'll just keep on, having Captain Mansell put it up on our Facebook every now and again, just to kind of refresh the public's memory on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was all free donated to me from the PFFW, their charitable foundation. I think I got 100 total, 100 or 200, I can't remember which.
Okay.
There's our monthly calls. We did have that one, we had a chimney fire down in Rome that we went and helped them with. 2 out in Grand Rapids and then 2 in the city of Rapids. The only issue I have with any of my apparatus right now is the compressor on the CAF system for engine 1's not working. But that's not a big deal, the engine operates. And CAFs is not something we use very often. It still puts out foam, it's just not the high compressed foam that they used to have. Which we don't really need. I do have a couple.
Excuse me, chief, go ahead, Rick.
RFD is Rome Fire Department?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they had a chimney fire right on the county line. The one of being Rome and Grand Rapids and Nakusa and us and Rapids, just because of how far out it was.
Okay, thank you.
Since I sent out my 2024 report, there was a couple things I didn't have on it that I should have had on it. Since I took over in June of this year, or June of 2024, we had 143 calls total since I took over. I responded personally to 64 of them. We also, as a department, haven't missed a single call since I took over. I know earlier in 2024, I looked back and we missed a couple calls that no one showed up for, but we were toned out for. But we haven't had that since. Again, the 4 new members from the first responder class. And I've had rumors around about how many WRFD full-time members I have on my roster. There's 3. I'm one of them, and we're all on different shifts. So the rumor going around about it being some big deal and that's all we have on our roster is WRFD members is false and I want it dispelled. Cause I'm sick and tired of hearing about it.
What's the, breakdown of total members you have and then firefighters as opposed to EMS as opposed to hybrids that do both?
Give me 2 seconds and I'll have that answer for you. So currently on our roster, we have 22 members total, plus 3 cadets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 first responders and firefighters, so hybrid or, they're both. And then we have 2 that are strictly EMR only. And I think 2 out of the 4 applicants that I have in PFC right now, I think 2 of them were for first responder only and then 2 for fire.
Now, what, you have an outside number of how the EMR people will, how many you would like to have?
12 is my total,
Okay,
but what I'm working on doing is since I'm a salaried position for the village, I don't get paid per call or anything like that. I don't count myself as being on that. I still can respond to calls and that kind of stuff, but I don't get compensated by the village above my salary for the year. I'm hoping this will be next year. Something I'm working on is possibly salarying my assistant chief too to do the same thing, so that way he can still respond to calls, but doesn't count. I'm also looking at possibly, which will be on FHR, restructuring the pay scale within the department itself for EMS calls. To kind of help my budget out, keep me within my realm of not having to worry about going over my budget or anything like that.
thank you. Betsy?
You said,
Not a puzzle.
how many are fire only?
Oh.
To have all the other ones listed, I just want to make sure I got
3,
that.
4, 5,
My math works.
5 total that are fire only.
My math doesn't work.
I didn't want to
It
do
doesn't
that.
add up to 22.
No, that's the same thing I was thinking too, because you had 10 hybrids, you had 2 EMS only, and I was thinking like, well, it's gotta be 10, if math works.
This is why I didn't do the math.
I'm saying that.
No math for me.
Yep, you're right. Sorry, I lied.
10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10, sorry. I'm gonna blow it up a little bit, I think. Actually read the damn thing. Apologize.
Okay, thank you.
I have one
Go ahead,
quick
Rick.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have, if I understood you correctly, you have budgeted 12 EMS
Yes.
personnel? Okay,
But it's not so much budgeted for 12. By what the department is always typically ran at, a total of 30 members is what you can have total.
Okay.
12 of them being EMS.
and that is listed where?
I don't know if it's listed anywhere anymore. That used to be.
It was a fire department.
It was a fire department thing, but I don't know if it was ever listed in the bylaws or anything either.
I can double check the resolution. I think we passed the resolution when we added the EMS. Almost 20 years ago, we had the EMS. I can help you
That's
out.
fine.
See what I can find.
I was
Yeah.
just wondering where that stood.
Yeah, so I know I can have 30 total. It's supposed to be 12 EMS people
Okay.
who are just, who will do EMS for us.
Thank you.
But yeah. Getting near that number for my total EMS, but like I said, I'm hoping to kind of wiggle my way around it with, me being salaried and maybe possibly looking at salarying my assistant chief, so that way he can be also counted, but we can have 2 more members that would be EMS, which would better help cover our service area.
And if call volume increases exponentially, this can be renegotiated for higher
Yeah,
numbers?
I'm assuming I would just have to bring it to the village. The problem is increasing my budget. So if you start increasing too many members, the budget's gonna have to get bigger, and having that kind of cash is not an
Did you-
easy sell.
But you added EMS service to which areas? Village?
Township,
The
township
township?
report. Yep,
Township
they
report.
paid, they added $3,500 for their contract, I believe,
So that's bringing increased revenue in.
to the village. That stuff doesn't come directly back to
Correct,
me.
correct. But that's an adder if you had to,
Yes, if I had to, plus I'm looking at possibly looking at my rates going forward for EMS coverage for the other outline areas that we cover as well. To help cover our cost of what it costs us to do EMS, because obviously everything will get more expensive every year.
thank you.
When you, get to the point where you would like to do that, make sure it gets on an agenda item
Mhm.
for that.
Yep, for sure.
Anything else for chief? Okay, thank you, Chief Lease. And, I'll check in the morning to see how it went when you get home today.
She's at work today.
Chief Abbott, sir, you're on.
All right, the police department monthly since last January 21st. As the winter comes to the end, the police department, as I have done the last 5 years, will work with DPW with spring cleanups. Obviously, when the snow comes, things kind of get shadowed away in the winter time. So keep working with DPW and Ben with ordinance issues, along with the continued public nuisance properties that we have been dealing with over the winter time. We'll continue with that. Officer Murdis will officially take over the SRO reporting duties position that I've held since I've been here, as of April 7th, we'll say. After Chief Drew is officially gone. He will be doing like all the trainings and stuff in the schools. I already talked with him. I want to implement some PowerPoints, and stuff to do at school assemblies and such, for the schools to be more active in the schools. And I plan to send him to an SRO training, if not this year, next year, for sure. That's a specific basic training that they do for, all school resource officers. I went to it 5 years ago. It's a very good school. So the plan is to send him to that. I did go to the Chiefs Convention a couple weeks ago and was able to make some great, relationships, friendships with not only chiefs that just started, in the profession like I did as chief, but other departments, chiefs that have extended arms to say if I needed help with anything in the near future to reach out. We're on the same boat. Some departments are big, some are little, so. The status of our position to fill my spot will be moving along here in the next few weeks. Hopefully we'll have a spot filled by the end of April, so. Everything is for the squads, no issues. There are citations last month, 5 public nuisance citations, some speeding. A couple operating, OAR stands for operating after revocation. There's 2 different types. One is civil, one is criminal. And then, 1 citation and charge was referred to the DA's office for IID. That's the device if you arrest for OWI, you have to have in your vehicle. So that means that someone was arrested and they didn't have it. So they get a citation and then have to go see a judge. 2 traffic crashes. The first 2, the other 2 were deer crashes.
The, public,
Sure.
the public nuisance, are they tomfoolery or
No, this is
ordinance
the-
violations?
No, the ordinance, this is a continuing, building that Ben and I and Scott have been working with to try to come to a resolution that hasn't happened. So. Calls of service, 135. Calls of service, mostly typical ones that we have every month. Some others that weren't typical. And then budget on the last page, drove us on task. Still learning with the budget stuff. That'll probably be my number one priority this year is to understand the budget, work with Ben and make sure that we're responsible as far as what we're doing. It's gonna be tough having someone else coming in and training them and myself, but we'll make it happen.
Who's driving which squad?
So I have the black Durango.
Okay,
Josiah drives the gray Ford Explorer.
okay.
And then currently the
Squad
truck
two is sitting on
is
that.
at Scott's house right now and
Okay, that's the one he used to drive to?
yep,
Okay.
yep, the truck.
Thank
He
you.
will, I'm planning on keeping the Durango and Josiah, if he wants to change at some point to the truck, that is an option. He's already told me.
Comfort zone.
He already told me he wants to keep the Explorer, which is fine. The Explorer is in great shape. I mean, for being
Yeah.
as old as it is, it's in really good
So
shape.
there's no changes, it's just the one is sitting. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if any of the officers don't like what they're driving, you know, what's really nice about it.
Foot
You're the final authority. It don't go
Get the
anywhere.
horse about.
Same with you. I don't wanna get in that truck. Okay, bye-bye.
Start walking.
Anything for Chief Abbott?
Thank
Okay, thank you, chiefs. Old business, I have nothing. New business, anything you wanna have on a future agenda item? I have received no correspondence, either verbally or through the USPS. Agenda items / trustee comments,
They have none.
nothing.
Nothing.
You too, Nick, nothing?
I know, it's a surprise, but
Okay. I already went over, about the only thing it'd be is whenever you're ready with like the request they made about getting it on the agenda, as you don't.
Yeah.
so,
That'll be a little bit, yep.
No rush. Next meeting date, March 26th, 2025, 4 o'clock, right here. And then remember, that will be our last meeting for the current session, and then, after the April 9th board meeting, we still are technically the board, but it's only for a week, and so if anything comes up, that's gonna be to the chiefs. That comes up, or, okay, and also anything that comes up from Ben's perspective, that's gonna be detailed. As chair, I'm gonna push that off to the new committee. I hope you understand, because we're not gonna be able to settle it in one meeting.
Mhm.
So, yeah, Penny, I'm sorry.
So I will tell you that in the next two meetings, the Public Works and the pit meet, I'm going to ask I'm gonna ask the committees to try to move them to the 19th. That's spring break, the 26th for the Port Edward School District, so I will be out of town, so just for this meeting, to let you know, I'm gonna ask the pit
Where you
and to
going?
Public Works to move it up a week, so not that you guys have to move yours, but if you wanna keep it the same, I'm gonna ask to move that up a week due to spring break.
I go nowhere.
I just got notice of a county board meeting, not county board, county committee meeting on March 19th at 3:30. So
Yeah, and I have no issue, I just wanna let you know that I'm gonna ask the other committees, so you're aware.
is budget should be, nothing would come up with that, would there?
No, there's
I
nothing
can-
I need, no, there's nothing
and I
I
can
need to be
run
in
that.
this meeting, so
If I need to,
Yeah.
I can run that, so.
I'm guessing. I gotta ask trustee Saylor if they're going on spring break for Public Works to see if he's gonna be gone
Are you gonna,
next week.
you were gonna remote in?
Yes, I can remote it,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. Anything comes up, otherwise, if you're going down to Florida again, we don't exist till you get back, you know that.
Whatever you think.
work-life balance.
Yeah, I don't have. it.
So, chief, put the pressure on
That's
the
the buzzword.
village
I like to
president.
say it.
Oops.
I'm sure you do.
You know,
so
I'd
I'm working-
love to come back and, that's why I'm so nice to you guys and give you everything you want. and try and keep these two guys here off your backs, you know, so. I think, what comment did I make? Good luck to you when you go home. Good luck to me at the reorganizational meeting if I get elected. So I think I better be quiet.
That's only if I get reelected. If I don't, it's still good.
And if there is nothing else, no objections, I will declare the public works. Yes,
Public safety.
public safety